Pledge of Allegiance, please. Paul has the flag. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to
to the
the flag
United States of
United
America,
States of America,
States of
to the
America,
republic for which
to
it
the
republic
republic
for
for
which
which
it
it
stands,
One nation.
nation,
under
under God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty,
and
and justice
justice
for all.
Thank you. We'll call the meeting to order. I didn't do that, sorry. Operations meeting, April 27th. First thing on the agenda is what?
The bass tournament schedule.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me okay, or do I need to speak louder?
You're good.
Okay. Last Friday, Ken Hoops and I met with three of the fishing guys ahead of the fishing group. They presented their bass tournament schedule to us, along with having some multiple conversations of things that we need the fishermen to do better on the water as far as obeying rules and regulations that we have out. The schedule that I sent everybody is pretty simple. I think it's about the same amount of tournaments as of last year. They are, the first time you guys could vote on it is May 11th at the next board meeting. So if the pandemic was lifted, May 17th would be their first fishing tournament. But if these aren't lifted by then they won't be cut loose until things are lifted. So this is what will be brought before you guys for vote. I'm going to say it's probably just a one-time vote for the May 11th meeting. You guys have any questions regarding the fishing schedule that I sent you guys?
No.
Not at all.
Do the fish have to stay 6 feet apart?
I will tell you that we did talk to the group a little bit as far as their participation. They are going to come up with an amount that they are going to add to each boat in the tournament and present it back to the POA for a more of a fee back to the community for allowing them to fish. And that's something they haven't done really in the past. They plan on start when we start having our live meetings, that they plan on attending the meeting to kind of give an update of their tournaments and to present the POA a check.
Hey, Paul,
Hello?
to your question about the 6 feet apart, they'll be harder to catch because the fish aren't allowed to be in schools.
Nice.
Very good, Jeff.
There's always one in the crowd.
Hey, Paul beat me to it.
Any questions of Ken on the fish schedule?
Have the people that are involved in these tournaments have a history of giving money back to the POA? I'm not familiar with that.
No, in the past, they have, for every tournament, they've only really donated like $10 back to the, that went to, if I understand it right, went back to the, for the children at Feast and Ski. My knowledge, they're going to continue to do that, but they're going to have an additional amount that they're going to donate back to the POA.
So is this going to be, are those funds going to just go towards stocking, or?
It'll just go in our fund, and it'll help yeah, it'll definitely help offset some of our fishing, stocking, and that kind of stuff. But I just think that it was it was kind of discussed as a way for them not to sanction a tournament where they make money off of it and not contribute something back to the POA. Kind of as an example, if somebody wanted to take over the tennis courts and charge for tennis lessons and pocket the money, that's kind of what's going on. I mean, they're using our facility, our water, to have fishing tournaments where they get paid out for their tournaments, and nothing goes back to the POA. So, I think it was a good start. We had about a 3-hour meeting with them, discussing anything from that to contributing back to the POA, from taking a tougher stance on the boats flying up and down the lake in the middle of the night at high speed, from how they start their tournaments, to where it doesn't look like they're racing to their spots. So we had a really good conversation with them. We even had the conversation about how they should handle themselves when people get upset when they fish underneath their docks and their lures get stuck on their docks. Instead of just simply say, when they get challenged about it, instead of having an argument happen, then I just simply told them, I said, they need to say, I'm sorry, move on. That's all they need to do. They don't have to sit there and argue over who's owning the water and what right they have. And I just think that we need to work on bettering their image of their fishing out here, and I think we can get that way. They totally understood, and I think it was a step in the right direction. It was a long meeting.
Yeah, I kind of told them about the same thing. I've talked to a couple of them, and I told them that bad language is really bad because it comes back at you. And I know there's been a few bad words said, and they need to really settle it down.
Well, I think it was, at the end of the day, it was put to them that if things didn't get under control, that this time next year, I was going to make a recommendation to either cut the tournament in half or do away with it altogether. That's one way to get things in check.
Yes.
Sounds like a good plan. I hope it works.
If they like to fish, it will.
Okay. Anything else on the fishing tournaments?
So we're marking off, we're all the way up to the 17th right now, marking off fishing tournaments, right?
That's correct. You guys just need to approve the schedule, and then I'll just manage when they can be told to go at it. And by that time, I think things will be lifted enough where they will be able to begin their fishing tournament on May 17th.
Are they allowed to have their lights off when they're fishing in the coves during these nighttime fishing tournaments?
To be honest with you, I don't believe anybody should be on the water without their lights off. It doesn't state in the rule book that the fishing boats are exempt from it.
Okay.
Anything else on the fishing contest? So we'll be ready to vote on that, May 11th?
That's correct.
Okay.
If we get in.
We'll have that as new business A.
Sounds good. Any objections to that?
Nope.
Sounds good, Ken.
Thank you.
Second topic.
I think that's a covenant update, and that would be Jim Johnson. JJ, you still on here?
Jim,
Joined the meeting.
hello.
Hi, Jim.
Yeah, I got in a bad cell on 40.
Okay, perfect timing. Covenant update. Mr. Jim Johnson speaking to that.
All right, our covenant update, we're approaching 60% of total votes, which I don't know. Rick, you may have better context for this than anything. Have we ever had that many?
Not that I know of.
And we're doing the hard press towards the end. And one more mailer to go out. And we're encouraged. We think there's a chance that the initiative can pass. But it's going to be a lot more heavy lifting here towards the end.
Can everybody hear Jim okay?
I heard him.
Okay.
I heard him. Yeah.
This is something we need to get working on. I don't know how you say any harder, but if we're going to get to the numbers we need to get some effort going towards that, I think. Does anybody have any ideas on that?
Well, it gets more and more difficult because there's fewer and fewer people. But the actually the vote percentage of the remainder is a fraction of the majority that we need, because the votes are overwhelmingly in favor.
I just received a text from AJ. It said he doesn't know how to join.
I did too.
Now, the younger people have more difficulty with the technology.
I don't know about that part.
Rick, let me see if I can send him the password and the ID and see if I can't get him on there.
Okay.
If you've got him on text, send it by text. I'll send him an email now.
Okay.
Rick, the link that you're sending has an auto dial too, if you have trouble getting in. You
Yep.
don't even need a password.
He's got to have the link first, though. He should have had it in the email, but I don't know if he has that or not.
I just sent him another email. So if you can text him, that would be great too.
Okay.
Jimmy, is that all you had on the covenants change?
Yeah, that's all we got. And towards the very end, when the weather gets better, presumably then the COVID-19 thing, gets a little looser, we're probably actually going to be going neighborhood to neighborhood.
Have they said anything up there for Indiana? Give a date when the sheltering in place is going to be loosened up a little bit?
Anybody heard? I don't know.
The governor had a press conference today, but I didn't hear a new announcement. Maybe I missed it.
Last thing I heard was May 11th.
Yeah, I heard they were coming up and they were leasing off just a little bit after the 28th.
28th of May?
Yeah, it's not everything, it's just a few things.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what all they're doing.
That's what I was wondering, because our May 11th meeting, we might be doing it on Zoom also.
Yeah, see, we can't get to everybody to hand them folders. I mean, to ask them about voting. at the marina because we're not inside. We got to be going outside and handing
Right.
stuff
Yeah,
out. So we get in the
that's-
marina, it's
that's
probably a
not
little different. We can get some more boats.
I think
Yeah, that
AJ's,
is not helping.
I think AJ's on here, but he's muted. Is that right?
No, I'm just muted because I'm listening to Doc McStuffins with my daughter.
Okay. All right.
I think
Welcome,
you're gonna
AJ.
want to watch the video.
All righty. Welcome. The only other thing I had on the agenda, if we're done with Jim's covenants update, are you finished, Jim?
Yep.
Okay. Would be Paul Forbes on the Marina project. Is that correct?
Yeah. Before I start, I have one question concerning the pandemic and our operations out here. We've had a lot of meetings and I don't know, we have meetings probably once a week at least for the marina concerning construction and so on and so forth. We're dealing, Ken's been, by the way, Ken has done probably more diligence for that marina to stay on track than he has diligence to keep this area as nice as it is, as he's been a part of this community. But he has really gotten the utilities to step up, and that is a big problem for contractors. So my hat's off to you, Ken. That's been a great relief to all the Brant people and so on and so forth. But my question is, does anybody have a temperature on, I use that word loosely, a temperature on anybody's feeling about pumping gas? We can pump gas as soon as we have somebody to attend the gas pumps. I don't feel it necessary to, to ask anybody to tell somebody to go pump gas unless they're comfortable. But do we have any idea of where we are in that, Ken? Is there any kind of, has there been any discussions with like Tom or anybody else that normally pumps gas?
No, I was down there today and I was asking that question. I mean, they're going to be getting electric to the pump this week.
Uh-huh.
We've had a lot of questions arise while people are registering their boats. But my thinking is that I think we could possibly still manage it by supplying gloves and continuing to, it's not like we're pumping gas, one right after the other. Sometimes we will, but I think it could still be managed by everybody wearing the gloves that I've purchased and just have some sanitizer to spray on the handle when after each use.
Are we going to go with the new system down there then?
Not yet.
That'll probably be on the next ops meeting agenda. As far as are you talking about the new gas dispenser, Steve?
No, I'm talking about the new marina stuff. We got the new computerized stuff.
Yeah, we'll have that in. We'll have that in as soon as the countertop gets in. He's hoping it'll be this Friday. They were putting the slat wall up today. When they get that done, they think that will be done by Wednesday afternoon. And then he's hoping that the countertop and the coffee bar that they're custom making will be in Friday.
Ken, do we have the capacity to use Square or something in the event that our technology is not up?
Use what?
Square to charge gasoline.
Where?
A credit card reader for iPods or
No, we
phones.
haven't done anything with that yet until we get our new system. We would just have to do it with our new system inside, just like we're doing, we've done in the past. They're gonna have to go in and tell them how much gas they've had.
The only thing I'm saying is that it seems very aggressive to believe we're that next week.
Jim, you're breaking up a bit.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes.
It just seems very aggressive to think that we're going to be able to have our technology installed, up and running, our purchasing system, our point of sale system next week. I can't believe that.
Nobody said anything about next week.
Well, you said they were going to have the counter in and we can get our computers.
No, I said that they would have the countertop in by next week.
All Square is you can sync it up with your bank account. You read the card. You do it
Okay,
on iPhone.
Jim, we'll take one step at a time. We'll get the place up and going, and then we'll focus on that credit card system.
The question is when can we pump it?
Well, the question was answered, and I said that we could pump gas as soon as they get electric to it, and I think that we could manage pumping gas by using by continuing to use our latex gloves and sanitize the handle after each use. I think that could be done. I don't think that we're going to be doing that until we open up the marina, and we're looking at maybe the second week of May, hopefully.
Okay, so you have any more questions there, Jim? I guess that's a no. Okay, we can't hear everything you're saying. Sorry.
No.
Okay, so I'll give you a marina breakdown. The next 2 weeks, obviously, well, maybe not obviously. I'm there almost every day, so I guess it's obvious to me, but not necessarily obvious to all you guys. And for the people that are listening, the marina is in the last phase, which means kind of like if you were building your house or remodeling your house, you would be in the phase of making lists and getting everybody to complete those lists and arranging for cleaning of the entire space, because all this other stuff is going to come together within 2 weeks. So the lighting is going in. I'm not going to go day by day here. There's no sense in going like that. But in the next 2 weeks, the lighting is going in. There is electrical in the space. The rails are going to be made for the outdoor staircases and for the outdoor patio. All of the data and systems are going to be wired within the next 2 weeks by Endeavor. All the speaker systems, the cameras, everything that goes inside will be installed within the next week or two. Most of this stuff is going to be done this week. Next week, the outside handrails, which are going to be made on site, will finish up. Next week, the data systems will be finished up. The the final paint touch-ups will be finished up next week. The removal of the floor protection will be finished next week after everybody's out of there. The floors are finished, except for probably a dozen small areas that have to have special attention. Ken and I both seen the floors. They look really nice. There is no final walkthrough scheduled at this point. However, by the end of next week, I'm assuming we're going to have that schedule. Any questions about the schedule? Okay. Couple other things I just want to mention concerning the marina. We are on budget. And there's a lot of reasons we're on budget. And I'm not going to go in through those because those are going to come out at the end of this project. But we're on budget because of many different reasons. There have been a lot of attention put on saving money and or being prudent spending money with decisions both from Ken, myself, and especially Brandt Construction. I can't say enough about Brandt Construction, in my opinion. We're going to be on budget, and probably one of the biggest reasons we're going to be on that budget is because the following items have been put into Brandt's costs, meaning that we would be over budget if we had spent money on these items. The on-site trailer for the POA usage, which we have not used 1 hour, but it has been on site and we should have been paying for that. Brandt is picking up that tab. Removal of trees for the beach extension is picked up by Brandt. Now, I can't tell you how this equates to what subs have pitched in. I'm just telling you the overall picture. The additional sand for the beach was kicked in by Brandt. New landscaping block retaining wall at the restroom area. And if none of you have seen that, it's a pretty nice wall. That has been part of Brandt's donation. The slat wall display in the retail area is part of Brandt's donation. The coffee station with the upper and lower cabinets is Brandt's donation. Building bump out to the house bait room. I hope you understand. We were going to have the bait room inside, and we decided to put it outside so it was not part of the marina. That is an extra cost, obviously. It's like building a little foundationed building. The contrast term would be shed, but we can't build shed. The additional window, which some of us felt was a necessity so that Lois and her crew could see the lake better, that has been picked up by Brandt. Change the kitchen floor from a polished concrete to an epoxy was picked up by Brandt. The additional FRP on the kitchen walls was picked up by Brandt. Add the rough ends for the fans and additional outlets for those fans in the restaurant area was picked up by Brandt. Added the second full stair in lieu of spirals, meaning that originally we were going to have a spiral staircase, and then we had to bring in 2 staircases because of handicap rules and all these other things that I don't know that much about. And they picked up the second full staircase. Changed the bathrooms from single stall to double stall. That was also picked up by Brandt. We are within the original $1,090,232. Also like to mention that we've had commitments from a few people in the neighborhood with their businesses, and those commitments are cash commitments towards the marina, Some of them are going to go against what we might do for a grand opening, if you will. Other donations have been made by a board member and members in the community. I can't give you those totals right now, but we're going to have we will have some totals by the board meeting. And people have been pretty generous in relative terms to what they can afford or what they feel like they want to give. We are asking people, obviously, when they get their boats registered and pay all their fees during the year, if they'd like to donate anything, and we are getting a nice response from them. Any other questions?
Don't-
I would only make one comment. I would only make one comment, and I would reassure what Paul said was the Brent Construction has been an absolute pleasure to deal with, along with their superintendent. They've just been nothing but a class act to work with.
The only regret I have during this whole project, I'm sorry, John, I'll be right back with you, but the only regret I have on this whole project is that from day one, if I would do it over again, I would invite you guys in different stages. That building is phenomenally engineered. John?
It's beautiful.
And the things you can't see behind the drywall is pretty beautiful. You know, that's a substantial building. That's a building that will be here for a generation, easily a generation. No matter what kind of weather we have, no matter what happens, that building is going to stand there.
Yep. Beautiful.
That's all I have.
I was gonna say, we have been using the trailer. We're training in it because that's where everything is set up at. And it's helpful because we have to train on a new system. And we're over there a little bit, not a whole bunch. So we are using the trailer, but it's not a whole bunch.
Good.
Paul, I'd like to thank you for all the time and effort you've put in. I know you've been down there almost every day, checking it out, working with Brant, working with Ken. You and Ken both have done extra work down there. I just want to thank you on behalf of the board. Thanks for your time and efforts from both of you too.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Very welcome.
Okay, with that, does anyone have anything else they want to bring up, talk about at the operations meeting? Take that as a no. As of right now, I don't see us having the monthly meeting unless they open up the shelter in place from what it is today to the 11th. Anybody see that happening? I don't.
No.
Yeah.
So.
I'd be I can't imagine.
I can't either. So let's just plan on this Zoom meeting. And the best thing would happen is they let everybody get together and we have a meeting on the 11th at the clubhouse. But if not, we're going to plan on the Zoom right now. Is that everybody's agreement to that?
Definitely.
Yes.
Works for me.
Okay, Rick Miller, could I ask you to set that up for 7 o'clock on the 11th, please?
Sure, I'm happy to.
Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll have to cancel that and we can all meet in the clubhouse and have our first get together, but I don't see it happening. I hope it does, but we'll go from there. If anybody has anything else, bring it up now or I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, everyone, for attending the meeting, and we'll talk again at the latest on the 11th of May. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too, everybody.